Welcome in, Jace, the man of the hour. If you don't know who Jace is, let me rattle off some of his incredible results that he's had throughout his Newbury Park career. 14:04 3-mile PR, ran 14:53 at CIF this past season. That was good for second place in the entire race. Second place on his team as well. That team, I mean, gosh, I'd love to hear about, how great that team must have been to be on this past season, because they shattered the CIF course record this past season by 43 seconds. Went on to NXN, went and ran national champs. He was 18th place there with a time of 15:29 on that 5K course. And now he's committed to University of Colorado. So welcome in, Jace, everybody. And as far as what we're going to go through today, Coach Karuna is going to have a couple questions for him. I'm your host, Eric Morford, and so Coach Karuna is going to open up the conversation. While he's going to do that with Jace today, I'm going to be going through question and answers, and I'm going to prioritize the ones that have the most upvotes. And we're going to go one at a time down the list, and we'll try to make as many question and answers for, as long as we can, as long as Jace is happy to keep on answering some questions. If you guys want to put in chat, you're welcome to put on where you're from. And I'll be searching through those question and answers. Jace, welcome in, man.
Thank you.
All right. So Coach Brosnan started 4 years ago, which was your freshman year. How has the program evolved in those 4 years? And when did you guys when was a national title? When did it become like a possibility?
It's actually kind of a crazy story. I mean, Sean actually was just starting the year before me and Nico came in. He was the girls track coach when we were in 8th grade. And me and Nico were already going to Newbury Park anyways. We had no idea that Sean was going to be there. And actually we were coached under this different program. It was called Sports Academy over the summer. And also under our old coach, Marty Maciel, amazing guy. But freshman year summer, we thought Sean was just like this kind of weird guy that just showed up to practice and like talked to Coach Maciel every now and then. But we didn't really know it then, but we kind of won the lottery with him. And we went from a team that wasn't even top 100 in all 5 divisions in the state to that year making it to the state meet. And I think a lot of that can be attributed to a senior on the team, Ethan Duffy, and Coach Sean as well. But they just really helped shift the culture of the team from a team that would maybe stop by Albertsons and get some cookies on a run or go play hide and seek instead of running, to a team that was willing to put the work in every single day and just work towards that. And I think just because of Sean's experience on the national level, we're always hungry for more. So, I mean, going to state was incredible freshman year, but then we said, why don't we win? And that took a couple of years, but then from there we said, we didn't even know what NXN was freshman year, but we stayed hungry and just kept going. It's been a really cool journey.
All right.
Okay, so I've been searching through question and answers, and we've got a similar question to what we had yesterday. So our top response question is, again, Rennie asking a question for you that's going to be a pretty simple answer. So I'm going to go ahead and draw Rennie in here. Okay.
Hello.
Rennie.
I don't know if you heard me ask it yesterday, but I'm going to ask most of the runners. What's your middle name?
My middle name's actually my mom's dad's name, so my grandpa's name is William.
Oh, I like it.
I heard from the live stream yesterday your middle name is Rennie, right?
Yes, it is.
Nice memory.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, easy one to start things off. We got 3 upvotes for the next one here. Kieran's got a question. We don't have a crazy amount right now. So as far as right now, it looks like we're going to be able to easily get through everybody here.
Gotcha.
Hi, Jace.
Hey, Kieran.
I was wondering, what was your mentality when it comes to tackling cross-country courses? Because, cross country is a tough sport, and
Yeah.
it's hard to stay motivated going through the season, which was primarily my problem when I did cross country, and I was wondering how you tackled it.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the big things for me was to kind of just stay loose and remember why I run, because when I get into my head when in races, I'll have a race similar to what I did in sophomore year at Arcadia. I'll run about 10 seconds slower than my average pace was in the race. So I mean, like, I'll get in my head, I'll tense up, and I'll just like start to die off. But what's really worked for me is just to, like, this is something I told my teammates before NXN this year, is in the middle of the race, just try to crack a smile, because if you smile during the race, your mentality will be affected by that. Like, if you smile, you will become happier subconsciously. And it's just kind of like a little reminder during the race that you're running because you love to do it, and you're running because you believe it's fun. And if all of this training's going into something you don't want to do, then it might not be as worth it as you thought it was. So I just try to remember to enjoy kind of just the culmination of all the training I've put in, and then just try and throw in like a little grin in the middle of the race. And people might call us crazy, but I mean, it's what we love to do.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, next up we got Nick Lewis. Nick Lewis was the one that reached out to and
Oh yeah,
place to come and grab you onto this great program here.
spelled Nick really cool though, N-I-C.
Okay, there we go. Hi, Jace. I wanted to ask you, being on nationals, on a national winning team, has to change you as a person. You've had tempo sports following you around. You're a frequent topic on many cross-country websites. How does the publicity that you're getting change how you run and how you think about running?
I think for us, it hasn't changed a ton. It's just like made us get better at thinking on our feet on how to explain like what we do in our training. Because sometimes it's kind of tough to think about and put into words. But I think as far as the publicity goes, I mean, our coach tries to get us to stay away from a lot of the publications and stuff. So like we never look at Let's Run, although I think Coach Sean spent a few nights going into the AM looking at Let's Run streams. But he tries to keep us off it as much as we can to just like make sure we're not getting sucked into all the heat of like people talking about us and saying stuff. But it's pretty manageable for me. I mean, I think Nico's a different story. I mean, he has too many DMs to count, but so I mean, it's been pretty manageable, but it's really fun to get out into the running world and just like see other people be impacted by your running.
Thanks, Jace.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, next up we got Joey. Joey's gonna come on board here.
All right. Whoa.
When did you start running?
I started running in 7th grade. I did middle school cross country, and I did 8th grade cross country and track. And then I really got going in high school. I just I did a lot of sports leading into that. It's like, I mean, going into freshman year, I did beach volleyball, basketball, and cross country training. And then after cross country season, I kind of dropped everything else and went for it.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Thanks.
I like cross country and track a lot more now, though, than I did in middle school.
What's your favorite one, track or cross country?
I gotta say cross country. I mean, I think cross country is running more than competing, and track's more competing almost.
Yeah.
It's my hot take on it, but.
All right, thanks, Joey. If you guys came in a little bit late, the way that we're kind of working this program is that, you know, put your question into the Q&A box, and you know, as I sift through the questions, I'm trying to bring up as many people as possible to ask and have, you know, one-on-one conversation with Jace. So go ahead and put down a question whenever you get the chance to. Okay. All right. Next up, we got William.
Hey, William.
Hello, Jace. I wanted to ask, do you consider yourself like very hardworking or talented?
Um, I mean, I'd say it's a lot of hard work in order to get to like to even just to run cross country from a base level. But I mean, I think what's helped us a lot over the years is just our consistent training and being willing to work hard every day. And I mean, I don't know how much talent plays into it, but when me and Nico were freshmen over the summer, we did a time trial in August, and Nico ran 18:09 and I ran 18:31 for 3 miles. And then by the end of that summer, when Sean took over, we were running in the 15 minutes. So I think a lot of it involves some hard work and just consistent training every day.
Yeah, but I was mainly wondering, like, do you think you work extra hard trying to actually surpass like Nico, for example? Because I don't think most runners want to like sit as second on their team.
Yeah, I mean, that's something our old coach, Marcial, would say. He said the hardest position to play is second fiddle because you're always chasing the first fiddle. But it's almost I see it as almost a different situation to where I see where Nico's running as a goal for myself to reach. And where Nico is, I aspire to eventually like reach that spot almost.
So he's your standards.
Yeah. And so, I mean, Nico's one of the most hardest working guys I know. And
yeah,
I know I have to put in everything in order to even just like attempt to match what he does.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next up we got Dominic. I see 4 more questions after Dominic in the Q&A, so we're getting right through them.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's up, Dominic?
Okay. Hi. So I think most people will consider you a great runner, seeing what you have done in your high school career so far. So what do you think separates the good runners from the great runners?
I think what separates that is mainly just consistency in your training, because a lot of people will say, oh, I'm not feeling good today, I can take this day off. And other people that are willing to put the work in every single day will say, I'm going to work today because it'll make me better for tomorrow. And I think another thing is just being conscious of what your training is. And so doing research, asking questions, and just making sure the training you're doing is the best that you can for you. And so that's something my coach, I'm really lucky to have him, because he spent 10 years traveling across like the country in Europe, living out of like just whatever he can, just pacing people, hanging out with coaches, and just asking questions and just learning what's the best for people. Like, what's the best way to train in order to make people the best you can be. And so I think just being curious about your training and being consistent with your training.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome.
Albert, do you have any things that you've heard or any questions that you have here?
Yeah. So you had a pretty good freshman season. You ran like 16:31 at state. You were a pretty good runner. I mean, that's a really good time for a freshman. Can you pinpoint a time in your high school career where you feel like you made a jump from being a pretty good runner to being an elite runner? And what do you think led to that?
What I see as the biggest jump I made was actually in junior year track. So we had already been to NXN and gotten 6, and this is following Nico's 840 and everything. It was in the CIF prelims race. The week before, I had just gotten 3rd in our league meet race in, I think, 920, like low 920s. But the next race was CIF prelims for Division 1, which is one of the more intense prelims for CIF. But I wasn't really sure I would be able to make it because I was a little bit shot from league and I didn't know if I could run that much faster. And I think just something clicked in my mind then where I just realized that if I want to race the best I can, I'm going to race like it's my last one. And I didn't PR in that race, but it was the first race since freshman year in a frosh-off race that I had won. And I think that mentality shift allowed me to kind of just step up a little bit to the next level in that junior year track season.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to go with Dylan Baptiste up next. Dylan, grab you. Okay, then Connor, then Gabe, then Whitney, and then Morgan.
Hey, Dylan.
So, how was running at Newbury Park? And what was your favorite race there?
So how was running at Newbury Park and what was my favorite race?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, running at Newbury Park's been kind of incredible because, I mean, at least just from our team perspective, it's been really cool to just see the shift in team culture from freshman to senior year and just see that everyone here is willing to work hard. From a school perspective, it's been a little interesting because having a cross-country and track program in high school isn't really an easy task to have one stand out and have massive support behind you from like the student body in the school. But I mean, it's been really cool to see people kind of just recognize that cross country can be cool at Newbury, kind of as we've shifted in kind of our program culture. And yeah, it's just been like a really cool ride. And then my favorite race, I would say, I mean, just like my favorite competitive race would be NXN. My favorite course, I really like the Riverside CIF course. And then just like the craziest meet in the middle of the season is Woodbridge. Like I love the Woodbridge vibe. But
All right, thanks.
All right. Thank you.
yeah.
All right, next up we got Connor.
Hey, Connor.
Was track and cross country the only sports you've done, or have you done other sports as well?
Actually, I didn't start doing cross country and track until 7th and 8th grade. But before that, I played baseball for 8 years, actually. And then I did basketball for, I think, 6 years. And then soccer for 4. And then I tried my hand at a little bit of flag football and some volleyball, too, actually. But it's really fun to just kind of go around with sports when you're young. And then once you hit high school, just to kind of narrow in on your favorite one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I still like playing basketball now, and it's kind of useful to have a basketball hoop at home and not much to do now. So it's been fun.
I still play basketball. I was done with basketball too.
Wait, sorry, I missed that connection.
I have a basketball hoop in my backyard, but I don't play basketball anymore either.
Oh, gotcha, yeah. I'll just play horse with my family sometimes. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Connor.
Yeah, thanks, Connor.
So any rules on the team about playing other sports, let's say like during cross-country season? Is that something you maybe put the basketball away? And
yeah, probably. I mean, actually this track season I volunteer every now and then with my dad at a special ed basketball team. And they play pretty hard. And I was going up for a jump ball or something when we were doing like a scrimmage and they needed volunteers to come in and play. And I took a knee to just above my knee. And I had a bruise there that I didn't treat well. And I ended up having to take a day off. But yeah, I mean, if you play the sport lightly, there won't really be a problem in cross country and track. But if you go a little bit too hard, you might get burned. But
yeah.
All right, Gabriel, I'm bringing you up.
So my question relates to you being like the second place runner in your team. I'm wondering what you like try, what's your goal or what motivates you during races, considering that you're not like gonna win? You're probably not gonna win that race, isn't it?
Yeah. It's been an interesting dynamic this year because I mean, in a lot of races, it's been Nico, maybe a couple guys, and then me. And so what I've done most of the time is kind of gauge my performance based on where Nico is in the race. And it's been interesting because, I mean, I'm confident that Nico can be in the top probably 10 NCAAs next year and potentially in the Olympics in 2024 or wherever they push it. But I mean, it's been a really crazy experience, and I think my mindset has just been to make the most of the time I have with a guy like this on my team. And so in races, my goal is always to be that second place guy, or my initial goal at the start of the season was to never finish lower than 5th in any race. And that worked out for me until NXN just because of the intense competition there. But that's been my kind of way to gauge my performances, is just to see how close can I get to that North Star of Nico's performance.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Good question, Gabe. All right. Whitney, you're going to be up next.
Whitney and I actually went on the same boulder visit. What's up, Whitney?
What's up, stranger?
There's another boulder bound app.
Okay, there's no. What are you looking forward to most about CU?
I think just being able to kind of continue the team culture we've had at Newbury Park into college, and just have that on an even bigger stage. Just have like the awesome academic and athletic support for athletes, and just being able to focus on just kind of like the basics of running and academics. And then Boulder's an amazing place. It has amazing trails, and more trails than probably about 10 times more trails than we have open here. So it'll be really nice to have that change in scenery. And then just kind of the different lifestyle of college. But yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So have you read Running with the Buffaloes? Uh-oh, here we go.
Right here.
All right.
I'm about right there in it.
Yeah.
Got about probably 20 or 30 pages left.
Yeah. No, it's a great book. It's definitely one of my favorite running books I've ever read. So
it's really cool.
All right, Morgan, you are up.
Official.
Morgan's got a good question for you.
And a fun profile picture.
Yeah.
Morgan, you're muted right now.
Yeah.
It's still muted.
Can you unmute her?
Yeah, I could.
Sorry.
Oh, there we go.
What will you miss most about your team as you head off to college?
Ooh. I think something I'll miss a lot is just kind of the ability to see people grow a lot over the 4 years, and just like see how people mature and develop. Because I mean, once you hit college, you're pretty much growing up. I mean, you'll still develop more, but it's really cool to see like kids you knew freshman year and look back in your memories and just see, dang, they've come so far. Like just being able to see them make leaps and bounds in running. It's been really cool. And
that's cool. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Maya. Maya, are you there?
Sorry, I thought it was.
There we go.
Sorry. What do you do to complete a difficult goal you've made for yourself? And how do you know if the goal you've made is too big?
This has been something actually my coach has really stressed with our team is like you can set a really high goal, but you have to be willing to put the work in to do it, and you have to kind of have these benchmarks or baby steps along the way to get there. So he always tells this story of an athlete who came into his office one time when he was an assistant coach, and he wanted to run 1.5 minutes faster in the 5K than he was running. And my coach pretty much almost laughed at him and said, I don't think you're willing to put the work in to get it done. And so I think we as a team work to kind of show that we're willing to do all the little things. And so we'll set goals to say, we don't want a single guy in the top 10 not at morning practice until nationals. Or we want everyone to be either conscious of their diet or using some sort of iron supplement to make sure they aren't anemic during the season. And just we set these little goals to have everyone to hold everyone accountable so that we can achieve the goal as a team.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, I've got 3 last questions here from our guests.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to go with Tor, and then we got a couple of people that are asking you a second question here, so I'm going to let Tor go up first here.
Okay, pretty simple question, but going into cross country season next year, what's your favorite like cross country or 5?
Favorite 5K workout?
Yeah, I think it's workout.
All right. Well, I think the best workout you can do for yourself with for 5K or cross country is probably mile repeats. It's just at that distance where you have to be able to get used to that pace. And a big workout we did was 4 by mile with 3 minutes rest at your goal pace at a park. And so for cross country workouts, we'd do it at Pepper Tree Park next to our school and just crank it out and go for it. But and then some of our older guys like me and Nico, we did 5 by mile ones, but most of the guys were either at 3 or 4 by mile, 3 minutes rest. Yeah.
Thanks, Tor. This question right here is kind of similar train of thought. It's kind of a follow-up question as far as getting a little bit deeper into your training here. So William's going to ask you this.
I'm back. So I wanted to ask, since like you're talking about workouts and you dropped from like an 18:33 mile freshman year to like sub 17, right?
Yeah.
Like what's a normal week looking for your training that helps you get to that like giant PRs?
Yeah. So I mean, we do our best to run every day, and my freshman year, we so I mean, CIF prevents coaching all 7 days a week, and so we're with Coach Sean 6 days a week, and then Sundays on our own, we're suggested to stay active and keep running, and so early on we do kind of like 3 or 4 miles in our off days, and now me and Nico are doing 6 to 8 miles on our off days on the weekends, and then the other day in the weekend is a long run, where now freshman year we go 8 to 10 miles for our long run, and then now we're going 12 to 14. But then from there we'll either work out Monday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Friday, and then one of them will be a harder, more repeat style workout, and the other one will be a more tempo style workout. And so me and Nico normally go 4 mile tempos, and we'll go at our mile PR pace plus a minute. And that's what you want to average for your tempo. And that's a really good indicator of your fitness. And then, so, I mean, Monday will be like an easy run. We'll have a workout Tuesday. We'll do a recovery Wednesday. We'll do like a training run, which is a little bit faster than a recovery on Thursday, and then workout Friday, and then either long run Saturday or Sunday.
Okay, thank you. That was really bad.
Okay, we're gonna go with Kieran, and Kieran's coming up again for a second time here.
What's up, Kieran?
Mic on. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I got it. My question was, when did you figure out that you were a runner, and when did you figure out you were a distance runner, especially?
I don't think I really saw myself as a runner until winter of freshman year, when our recently retired coach Marty Maciel kind of sat me down, and basically me and Nico were pretty close in freshman year cross country, and he basically said, if you take winter off to train for basketball or do like a different sport, instead of just like sticking to it and being consistent with your training over winter, that gap between you and Nico is kind of going to accelerate and spread. And you're going to fall behind all the other runners on the team, and there's a good chance you might not make varsity in track or cross country. And that really motivated freshman me to see myself as a runner and a competitor. But before that, in middle school, I was using cross country kind of a way to stay in shape. And my dad was actually a cross country and track runner in high school. And my grandpa was also a cross country and track runner when he was in high school. So I got kind of a little bit of a lineage, but.
I'm kind of the first of my family, so.
Oh, awesome.
All right. And we got, I'm going to have one more question we're going to squeeze in here. This will be the last question from our audience here. You guys have had great questions today too. Wesley, I'm going to get you in here for your first question. Hopefully.
Did we lose Wesley?
We may have lost Wesley.
Maybe we can just ask it.
Yeah. Oh, there he is.
All right, there we go.
What's up, Wesley? All
right. You got to turn on your mic.
There we go. Hey, Wesley.
I had some. Sorry. Hi, this might be kind of a bad question, but I've always been curious about it. When you're running in these races, what are you thinking about? Do you kind of like clear your mind, or are you thinking about beating people? Like, what do you think about?
Yeah, I mean, as far as racing goes, I'm normally thinking about kind of just keeping my body relaxed and keeping my form intact, and just thinking about like when I can make a move and just kind of like work towards the goal of finishing the race as good as I can. But during normal runs, what I mostly do to kind of maintain sanity, I don't run with music anymore, actually. I kind of just clear my mind and think of anything but the running itself. And so, I mean, like, normally I'll get like a song stuck in my head and just like kind of just like play that song, and like I can skip my song without pressing anything now that it's in my head. But yeah, it's just kind of, I use running as kind of just a time to let my mind kind of release from everything else that I have to think about. And I'll just kind of just clear my head and just let my thoughts kind of run free.
All right. What about when you race?
Yeah, so in races, I mean, like I was telling I think Kieran earlier, I mean, I try to kind of crack a smile during the race and just remember that I'm doing this because I love it. And mostly my energy would be directed towards like just maintaining form and staying relaxed, and then just thinking about the next step pretty much. And I'm not thinking about the entire race. I'm not thinking about, oh my gosh, I have 2.3 miles to go, or oh my gosh, I don't know if I can kick. It's just think one step ahead. And you don't want to, because if you think about the whole thing, it's going to seem massive, and you might feel like you just can't get it done. But if you just think about going a little bit harder on the next step, getting a little 1% better as you go through the race.
All right.
Cool.
All right. Thank you, Wesley.
So Jace, do you have any kind of like closing thoughts on, how to summarize what you would say would be your advice for somebody that's struggling to motivate or train during this time?
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely something I was struggling with when everything was getting canceled from Arcadia to CIF and everything. And I was kind of freaking out in those couple days because we didn't really have a goal or like something to train for. And I think that's a problem a lot of people are dealing with right now. And so, I mean, like the best thing I can say is like, I mean, right now in running, you need to find like that North Star. Like, what's your North Star right now? It can be NXN in the fall. It can be that first cross country race. It can be a potential race in late May or June. But you just need to have something in your head that tells you like the work I put in today will pay off here. Because if you don't have that in mind, you're not going to have that same drive or that same fire to keep going.
For sure. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Anything else, Coach?
No, I thought that was great. We really appreciate you answering all those questions, and I know there's a lot of, you looked up to runners before, and now there's runners that look up to you. So I know they all appreciate what you had to say today.
Yeah, if you guys could send some thank yous in the chat so he can see you guys. I know he can't hear you guys, but he can see all the thank yous coming his way in the chat. That'd be great.
Yeah. Thank you guys. It's been fun.
Yeah, we really appreciate your time, man. And yeah, as far as like moving forward in this series, I know Jace, you were here yesterday. It was fun to see you kind of play the opposite role today and have a guest exception yesterday. But as far as moving forward, what we're going to do with this, we're going to try to run it 3 or 4 days a week, and and so Thursday we'll be here and we'll have our first lady guests. So we got Fiona and Isabel Max that are going to join us on Thursday, and so if you guys want to check in for that, we won't have anything tomorrow. But, you'll see us again on Thursday.
Yeah.
But Jace, thank you so much for coming on today.
Yeah. And if you're interested in getting Nico on, I can send him a text. He doesn't check his DMs right now because so many in there.
Yeah. All right, man. Cool.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right, guys. And have a great day, everybody.
Yeah, you too.